What's up, people?
Don't
We are
forget the
live.
questions.
We are here. And we're here to talk games. I am one of your hosts, MM2K, here with Cold Blood Sensei. Cold Blood, how you doing today, man?
Tired.
Yeah.
I still have a fucking headache, bro. But I try to give you some facts still,
Well,
even when I'm almost down.
Cold Blood, I got some real bad news for you, brother.
What?
About to get worse. Like you're not going to be able to rest. Want to know why?
Why?
Because, Mama, we made it. For the internet that don't know, Cold Blood and I were now Hollywood. We're now Hollywood hipsters, along with our good friend Meg. Shout out to Jamie's act. Mama, we made it. We got clipped by Jamie's act. And oh yeah, wait, here, we're gonna play the clip for everybody. Let me do that right now. We'll talk about it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're going to talk about it in a little bit.
Like, didn't you want to get to the members' questions first?
Yeah.
Any other shit?
Yeah, we'll play that in a little bit. I was just going to play it for everybody real quick. But yeah, we got clipped by JB's act. But let me get into the member stuff. Like Cold Blood said, hold on one sec. Oh shit.
Gotta shout out the guys that are actually supporting our shit, like for real.
Let me.
Our dog shit channel.
Yeah.
Right, boss? Like next day would say.
Yeah. It's dog shit. I think I did something stupid though. Hold on.
What? You ended the stream?
Yeah. Hold on. I might be able to pull up the comments. Something stupid.
How did you end the stream?
Comments. Hold on, I might be able to find it, y'all. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Yet. Oh no. No, it's fuck. A way? Hold on, let me go back to the live. Because I have. Let me see if I got it part of the replay. I got to do something real quick. I'm going to check and make sure that, because it should be part of the replay. Let's go over here. Not like I'm going to create something. Well, what I was going to do, guys and gals, is that when we go live before the show, we go live about an hour before the show starts, and we do it with our members. And so then the members are in there with a lot of questions, and sometimes we can't get to all the questions during the live member show. So what we're going to start doing is the podcast that we do throughout the week, except for Fridays, instead of there being a video, we're going to spend like the first 15 minutes going over their content.
You should have told me to screenshot that shit, because right now it's not even uploaded yet. The live chat. Yeah,
it's once it processes, it's going to show it. But I think there's another way I can get to it. Next. Come on, YouTubers. And goofy. Why make everything so difficult? All right. Live reaction. This is live chat replay. Okay, so we do have it. It's just not available. Yeah, it's just not available. So, my sorry, folks. For those of you that were in the chat, like Ice Queen Gaming, Andrew Wilkins, all you folks, let us repeat your comments in here while we're here. What we were talking about.
Look what Geek said.
He says, I'm off this weekend, so let's do a raffle for the controller. I have 4 people documented as active members. I have 4. You have 4 people documented as active members. What's that mean? You mean members that are, well, I would think that we wouldn't we want to, Geek 5? Wouldn't we want to, Geek, do it for members that are active and do their own subscriptions? Like if you're a gifted member, I don't think that's a problem as long as you're active, but we'll leave that up to the group thinking process. But if you're a paid member, right? I'm watching every time in the chat. You said 5. I mean, however you want to do it, bro. Just let me know. If you want to just do it for the 5, let me know. Who was BitCloud Gaming? Ice Cream Gaming says, hey, MM2K, I'm not okay after BitCloud Gaming called me for being silly for having an opinion. Plus, I'm upset by it.
Why? No. First of all, why would you be upset about BitCloud Gaming?
Yeah,
that dude is a nobody.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know who BitCloud Gaming is, and I have a history with this dude. He used to be riding a professional. Jay Wags brought me on the show where we was just talking shit about me being an Xbox fan, and people were trying to understand why I was an Xbox fan. It was supposed to be like a sabotage for everybody to pile on me, and this is the time Dirk Griggity was on there with me. It's supposed to be a pile on or whatever, and he got out of pocket. He got out of pocket and said some shit that didn't need to be said, and it went left. It went left because the MM2K, who is just doing a shtick, is just doing an act and acting cheesy and corny or whatever, and just yelling in his mic. I put that motherfucker to the side, and the MM2K that will come look for you came out, and they didn't know how to handle that. Like it changed the whole vibe of the whole fucking podcast and shit. And I really didn't give a fuck because I don't know you. Like, don't talk to me like that over some plastic. Like, we'll talk some shit. Oh, that shit is crazy, whatever. But bro was like talking, let's throw some hands type shit. You know what I mean? Well, that's where I took it, where I come from. And I understand there's a bunch of gaslighters out here, or people that do that get that deep with it, and he's one of them. I remember he was on Z's podcast recently, where he did that. I mean, not recently, a couple years ago, and I even defended him. I said, Z, here's the thing about Ryan. He gets too worked up about this. It's too much ingrained in his thought process, and he gets angry, and he says some out of pocket shit. I said, I've learned not to even take it personally with him anymore. It's just a joke. But I was like, it's caught me off guard before too. So my advice to you, Ice Cream Gaming, is I wouldn't even let it. That's what he does. That's part of his shtick, because the people that find him entertaining or whatever, they like when he does that. That's it. I wouldn't even be worried about it. And you can watch whatever you want to watch. I don't understand what the allure would be over there. I just see a grit. I know we use this word a lot, and sometimes, well, I use it too often maybe. I just see a grift. I have another question of how can you like PlayStation last gen? See all of the more impactful consumer shit that's happening at the beginning of this gen. Have all the other gamers feel the same way? Like, you have people leaving Xbox in an exodus. But as a content creator or whatever, someone that's more embedded in this, you all of a sudden like PlayStation? I mean, you all of a sudden like Xbox and think Xbox is better? That's completely dog shit to me. And that's why, shout out to Meg. Meg came out here, did a great job in giving his viewpoint about how he feels about the people that he works closely with, Code or whatever. And we gave him our opinion. And, we may not see directly eye to eye on there. The thing that's important to me is I feel like Mag is very credible and very authentic. So I'm not mad that's his friend. I have no saying over that relationship. And honestly, I don't have a problem with these people. But that's why I kind of mentioned, like, when I mentioned Fonzarelli, I don't have a problem with Fonzarelli. Like, at the very beginning, when I was in my fields, like how we were talking about Ryan gets in his fields, when I was in my fields as an expert at the beginning of this, yeah, I came at Fonz when he was on Brap. Fonz just waved it off and was like, I'm not even thinking about you. Like, this is what it is. And over time, I got to appreciate the authentic, straight to the point, no flash, no pizzazz, just, hey, look, it is what it is type of Fonz that just told it how it was. So when I saw Fonz, now all of a sudden, and it wasn't about having a different opinion, the things that you say drive you as a gamer, the antithesis is happening at Xbox. You called it out before, now all of a sudden you're liking it. When I see that, and now all of a sudden I see an immediate switch because now Xbox isn't giving you any red meat anymore, I can't help but look at that as a grift. I'm sorry. I apologize if I've hurt someone's feelings. So Ice Cream Gaming, there's a lot of grifting, there's a lot of shape shifting and shit, and a lot of fleecing that's happening out here in this community with a lot of these creators. I wouldn't even feel a certain way about it. I wouldn't even feel a certain way about it. But Andrew Wilkins and Ice Queen Gaming, my apologies. I had promised to share you guys' comments from the member section, and I, like an idiot, I deleted it. I deleted your what's it called? So if you guys could do me a huge favor, can you bring them back here? We're gonna use the first few moments to go over that, and then we're gonna get into the main show. Let's see here. Let's shout out the people in the chat though. Yeah, and again, people like who they like. Like I said, I had a history with dude. That's what I got from it. Like I said, when I understood it for what it was, and bro came on Z's show and did the same thing. Like Z had extended the olive branch to him and brought him on the show, and this motherfucker just went berserk for no reason. I'm like, what was that even for? And then Z was like, again, Z was getting a little agitated, and I defended him. I said I defended him not because I agree with his antics. I said, bro, this is just what he does. This is what he does. I wouldn't even take it personally. He's gonna do this with any and everybody. It's not a personal thing. I guess this is how he feels like he has to navigate through this whole content, shit. So whatever. So but yeah, if you guys can put back in this chat what you guys were saying in the members chat when we were talking about Game Pass, I highly appreciate it, because I want to make sure that I highlight what everybody was saying. We're gonna show shout outs that you guys are giving us in the chat right now. I got everything set up. We got Casey in the house. Crazy Casey. He says, time to start trash talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro. I actually, I don't know, man. Pro keeps looking. It keeps
well, I explained to Casey why people would rather upgrade to a PS5 Pro before they get a PC, and he agreed with me. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh damn.
I mean, isn't it obvious why a PlayStation gamer would rather upgrade to a PS5 Pro than a PC?
Yeah. It definitely is.
Dude, you literally have your whole library over there. You want to rebuy everything on PC again?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's not just that. I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, absolutely, it's the main reason.
That's the main reason. It just isn't that. And I'm gonna, Casey, you're falling. See, here's the problem. There's a lot of you pro Xbox dudes that are new to Xbox, and you didn't pick up your history books. You didn't read. Just like when it came to Stadia, I was guilty of that. When it came to Stadia, there was a lot of us that were praising a Google product, but we didn't read the history on Google. And some of us got caught up in this is a paid for service, and Google's track with paid for services are different. Doesn't matter. Still Google. And with Google, you're liable. They're more liable to do this than they are that. And this is sell something off or abandon it before they stick with it. So you guys are doing the same things that we did. And I'm trying to warn you. We're trying to, stop you guys from being Drew Barrymore 51st dates, just doing the same shit over and over again and forgetting what you done by the time you put your head down and go to sleep. Don't make the same mistakes that we made. Check your history. There's a reason why we shit on Xbox. It's not because the ideas, like, here's the thing. If there was an alternate universe where Phil Spencer could curate a kick-ass subscription service, the ability for you to play in the cloud and it be awesome, a lesser console, a less expensive console, a fucking $300 entry point into next gen gaming that the only sacrifice you're making is you can't get 4K. You max out at 1440p. Like, if all that shit that was advertised was actually executed, that would be fucking awesome. I would advocate for it too. So it's not the idea that's the problem. It's the execution.
Casey is telling you now what the fuck was going on. He was just trolling you. Well,
he says, I know what you're talking about, bro. I'm just trolling. No, it's not just about you, Casey. You gotta understand, there's a lot of people in here that, even though you're trolling, there's a lot of people in here that are creep watching this. I get the comments all the time when I drop the video. Like one motherfucker, this only has 200 views right now. Yeah, I know you're creep watching too. Whatever sock account you use. Now the motherfucker's up to 1.3, thousand views or whatever. But I digress. It's not like we're not making fucking ninja views or whatever. And that was never our intent. Because when you tell the truth, you're gonna be put in the back burner. That being said, now Casey, you're trolling. There's a lot of people that feel authentically towards what you're saying, and they're sneak watching right now. Like, we just dropped down one person. It was probably that motherfucker. Oh shit, he knows I'm here. We just dropped down one viewer. They're lurking, and they truly believe, bro, what you just said. They don't get they don't get that they didn't do their history. And I'm basically saying to you guys that just came into Xbox a couple of years ago because of all this shit that they were saying. Xbox was saying a bunch of shit last gen under Phil Spencer, and it never panned out. And all it took was 6 or 7 years of Phil Spencer for us to realize that he's a hope merchant. A hope merchant? What is that? Exactly what it sounds. He just sells hope. That's it. That's all he fucking sells. Tell me one thing besides quick resume. Tell me one thing that Phil Spencer has got y'all hyped about that he's executed on in some relative to the hype.
VR gaming.
I forgot about that. Go ahead, bro.
Wait. What did you call the One X? Uncompromised 4K 60 or something?
Yeah, true 4K, uncompromised 4K. Yeah.
What else did he promise?
Oh my god. There's got to be
all Activision games. They won in Game Pass. Only now happening after a long ass time waiting.
Wow.
Oh no Bethesda game is gonna go over to PlayStation.
Yeah.
That talk, bro.
Bro, this is for this is all the Bethesda purchase. Oh fuck! Ain't that here? Ain't this some shit? I gotta show you guys this. This is fucking crazy. So while Cold Blood was talking, all you gotta do is I put in Phil Spencer promises in the search. And this is the first thing that popped up. You guys want to hear? You guys want to go through the list real quick?
Bro, there's a whole fucking list of promises, but almost nothing of that was ever delivered.
Exactly. Let's listen to this shit. Here, let's hear this. This is from Peter Ovio, of all people, who was like, they stopped cutting the check for the Xbox glazing, so now I gotta tell the truth. Phil Spencer, February, only 4 games are going to PlayStation, no promise beyond that. June, more of our games will be on the platform.
No promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not.
The game on other screens, and you are going to see more of our games on more platforms, and we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building.
So
like, I mean, come on.
Yo, hearing those back to back is so funny.
Hold on, here goes another one. Breaking: Phil Spencer still has yet to deliver on both of his promises.
Hold
on.
Change for gamers and developers must deliver true 4K gaming and high fidelity VR.
See?
Yeah. Come on. What are we doing here?
Both of those promises are not delivered yet, bro.
Yeah.
Where is the true 4K? I don't see it.
Exactly. Where's that? From the Xbox.
Now it's up to 4K 60.
Mm-hmm.
And before it was the Series S was 1440p 60. Now it's up to 1440p 60.
Yeah.
Before the launch, the language was one way. After the launch, the language was a different way. So they cannot say, "Oh, it's false advertising." Right?
Hold on. Who's this? Who said that? Holy shit! I can't see that. Who said that Redfall was a Game of the Year contender? Somebody wrote an article. Hands-on preview. Okay. Promises were made by Phil and Arcane and regulate 60 frames per second and additional support content, some of which is pre-purchased by consumers. We need a roadmap. Yeah, the promises towards Redfall. Here goes Project Latitude. Let's listen to this again. Hold on,
bro. He promised us Starfield. Okay, sorry.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
He and Sarah Bond promised us Starfield is going to be the biggest, most important fucking RPG ever.
Yeah.
And it was the most mid-disappointment ever.
Yeah.
We can go on, bro. Like, he promised us Halo at launch. What did we get? Falconer. And Halo a whole year later. Can I go on? Bro, Crackdown 3 is gonna show us the power of the cloud. What did it show us? Some fucking untextured buildings exploding.
Yeah.
Bro, get the fuck out. Like, come on. Anything under Phil is just fucking dog shit.
It's dog shit. Bro.
He ruined Gears. He ruined Halo. He even ruined Forza. How? How can you ruin Forza, bro?
It's a car on wheels and shit. How you fucking ruin
exactly,
that?
bro.
Bro. Hey, bro. Shout out to Seth. He says, I just found this channel yesterday and sub. Thank you, Seth. We appreciate it. Spread the good news. Look, man, we're just here. We have our own biases, but we'll give everybody that work when they deserve it. You'll hear us, you know what I'm saying? We were just debating with community members yesterday about some stuff. But look, we're not going to deny what our biases are towards. We feel like that PlayStation is the best console out there by far. PlayStation games are definitively the best games out there at the moment by far, right? Even though I like to game on GeForce Now when I play a lot of PC games and shit, I am in admiration of what Sony does as far as making games, because the influence that they have on the game community is the only bright spot that we have now in a gaming community where we got greedy ass publishers doing shady shit, Ubisoft trying to bargain down its stock price so it can go private. I just saw a thing about EA, a list of all the games that EA or the IPs that EA have ruined since they've acquired them. And you know what I mean? Like, the only bright spot right now, you can argue Nintendo and PlayStation. And what do they have in common? They have closed ecosystems that force them to give you quality because they got to sell you an additional device. It's that heightened sense of urgency that got them creating the best games out there, opposed to an EA and Ubisoft or whoever that are just trying to run gimmicks to get sales, right? So we're just gamers that take a look at what's going on in the gaming community. I'm gonna get to your comment in a second, Andrew Wilkins. And we just simply want to see what makes these games so successful or make them fail, and how can we inform gamers of what's really going on versus what these content creators want you to believe, so you are the best equipped to go out there and hold these companies' feet to the fire. Because unless you do that, they'll take advantage of you over and over again. Shout out to Andrew Wilkins, who says, Phil lies as much as Xbox as all Xbox influencers. Most found Jez Gordon on the Xbox Facebook group long ago. No one should have ever been a fan of toxic micro. But let me tell you something. These content creators are lying because of Xbox. Mag said it the other day. If you guys missed the Mag interview after this, check out the Mag interview that we did. That was public. And then check out the Mag episode from Monday, from a couple days ago. You guys need to watch that. Mag has a lot of ties. Like we were just saying in the members stream, Mag has informed us of shit I can't even tell you yet. You know what I'm saying? I can't even tell you yet. Like, if you're clinging on to this competitive hope, you gotta let it go. Let it go. It's a wrap. You, as an Xbox fan, you are rooting for a glorified publisher. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That happens to have a platform and the cloud streaming service, but you're rooting for a glorified publisher. And I don't know what that does in a positive fashion for gaming. To help you understand our criticism, because we believe steel sharpens steel. On some of the things we criticize PlayStation for as of late, we feel like it's due to them not having any competition. Competition is important. So that's why we're so critical of Xbox, because for so many years, up until the beginning of this year, they were throwing these little niblets out there that they still wanted to compete, when that clearly did not reflect the internal battle and the MO and the direction they were moving in. It clearly didn't. And a lot of the reason why they're not competing now, Andrew Wilkins, is because of this dude's failure that you see on the screen. And if you, I don't even think it's about competition. If you just want great games, because all these delivery systems, the cloud, being on P, all this shit might sound fine and dandy to you if you're following Xbox and you're clapping like a baby still for them. But if the shit continues to fail, if they continue to not hit margins or hit expectations, then little by little, like you see with how Game Pass is dwindling in its offering, you know what I mean? The day and date now has been, if you're on console, has been recluded to Game Pass Ultimate only for their games across the board. If you want to continue to see that, there has to be quality. There has to be a big draw to whatever they're doing. We're just not getting that. And it's like Mag said, Cold Blood, and Andrew in the chat, he said it here. Cold Blood, you remember when I asked Mag, does he think that they'll get better with Phil Spencer? Or do I think that they can get better with Phil Spencer? How long did it take that motherfucker to answer that question, bro?
Immediately, fuck no.
Immediately.
I mean, my answer would be the same.
Yeah.
But also my answer is, who else is going to take his place and going to do a better job than him? I mean, the ones that are right now at Microsoft.
Oh, no, yeah, nobody. Because he's gotten rid of them. He's gutted that company. I don't know. He's gutted that. He's purged that company of all of its talent that they've had. They left.
He gonna put Satya in there.
Yeah. All right, let's fuck it. Let's do Crackdown 4. Let's give it a shot. I don't play games, but I can't be any worse than Phil. Bro, he's done irreparable harm to Xbox. Not only has he fucked it up, but he has purged any talent that was there. They're like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here. The lava from the volcano is erupting. The volcano of trash ass gaming is erupting. We gotta get the fuck out of here before we get burned up in this shit. And they all left. Horrible. And it all begins with the fact that you had 10 years of Phil Spencer, Cold Blood, that was basically just trying to cover his tracks. It's an endless cycle. He comes out there and he tries to look sympathetic. We gotta do better for our gamers. We gotta do better for our gamers. You know, he comes out there with his heartfelt speeches and his fucking video game shirts, you know, to make his, he's connected to us. Then he comes out there well before they have a grip on whatever initiative that they're working on. We're gonna do something new. Xbox is going to run off of potato pills. You no longer have to use electricity. You just stick a potato pill on top of the Series S and oh my God, it's gonna power it. He comes up with these most ridiculous antics and end results that you hear and you say, well, that wouldn't be bad. I don't have to use my electricity. I just cut off a potato pill and just, holy fuck, that's awesome. It's gonna save my life. He comes up with all these fantastical, whimsical, you know, expectations that they have not fully vetted and quality checked or whatever. So when it's time to release said thing, it doesn't work as intended. You know, I told you had to put a potato pill to power your Series S. Oh, I meant a potato is actually powering the Series S. that's what I meant to tell you. I'm sorry, you know. And then it's like it's rinse, and then he tells a lie, you know, or he comes up. The industry's changing, right? And the industry doesn't like you fucking with potatoes like that. So that's why we can't do what we're doing. That's why we had to use the potato to power the Series S instead of you putting it on top. So, you know, it's the industry changing, right? He comes up with the lie and then rinse and repeat. It's false sense of connectivity, ultra unrealistic expectations flounder like a fish yanked from the riverbank, and then lie to cover everything up, rinse and repeat. You've been getting this for 10 straight fucking years. I could only take 3. After 3 or 4, I had to bounce. But it's important for y'all to see this, because even though Casey was trolling, there's a lot of people that are new to Xbox who really believe this shit is going to happen. And they don't understand the vitriol that Phil Spencer gets at this role. Y'all didn't pick up your history books. So we're going to do a little bit of history right now. Go through it. Shout out to Corey Massey in the chat. Well, let's do this. Let's go through. All I had to do was put Phil Spencer promise, and look what the fuck we're getting. We're getting the treasure trove here. That's all I had to put into Twitter. Phil Spencer promise. Let's go.
Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know.
Blood.
Remember, Z told us all the time that Phil is a double agent?
Yeah. I wouldn't
Bro,
doubt it.
I think he was onto something.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I would not doubt it. I mean, he's horrible at this, bro. Horrible.
Well, not for PlayStation. I mean, he's a great PlayStation employee.
Yeah. And you know who is his
He
best
helped
friend?
PlayStation.
You know who
He
his best
helped
friend now is?
PlayStation. Who?
Herman Holst. He's the only one. That's the only motherfucker keeping him
Probably.
employed.
Probably.
That's the only motherfucker keeping
No,
him
but bro, he single-handedly put PlayStation at number one, bro.
Yeah.
For 10 years straight.
Yup. A significant number one. Like, it's not even a question. All that hard. Think about that. And you Xbox faithfuls that are still lingering around, trying to stum up some. I know there's nuggets in you. Think about this. This is what made me leave. All the blood, sweat, and tears and ridicule and everything that you invested in this platform. I can easily say I put tens of thousands into this platform over the years. Since 2006. Since 2006. Easily tens of thousands. Because me and my brother, we had 2 Xboxes in our house. Just buying all types of shit. Gamepass. Xbox, before that, Xbox Live. The amount of money we spent on this. All those blood, sweat, and tears just from a consumer standpoint, but that's just the consumers. Think about the Seamus Blackleys, the Peter Moores, Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, all those motherfuckers. All the risks, the billions that they've lost to try to make Xbox competitive. And all that washed away by one fucking guy. Because y'all can sit there and complain about Donnie D all you want. Here's what Donnie D did. Donnie D handed the victory of the generation over to PlayStation. He gave them the award. But that didn't mean that Xbox still couldn't be competitive. That didn't mean that Xbox still couldn't be in the fight. You know what I'm saying? That didn't mean that Xbox still couldn't be running close to PlayStation. Their decisions and how they handle stuff just ensured that PlayStation would be the victor. But there's one motherfucker that ensured that PlayStation would eradicate Xbox. And you're looking at him on the screen. Don't take it from me. Don't take it from Cold Blood. Take it from Mag. Oh, I don't want to take it from Mag. Take it from Tim Dog. You play games with this motherfucker. We was teasing Tim Dog in the DM when he went to go meet him at the bar. We said, what type of shit is going on here? What type of indecent proposal shit is going on here? Tim got hell for that. He's meeting Phil Spencer in the bar. Ain't none of y'all closer than Phil Spencer than Tim. He knows what's going on in bro's mind. He knows it. Even Tim had to say,
he did, Moss.
What'd you say?
Moss. Apparently, Tim Dog did not know what was going on in his mind.
Why you say that?
Because he said it himself. He was completely shocked when they started announcing all these fucking games going to PlayStation.
But you know what?
Because he was not told that.
He wasn't. I don't think Phil wanted to do that either. But Phil, he failed so bad. Like, look at. If you're Satya Nadella, even if you're Satya Nadella, you're not a gamer. I want you. We showed this email 1,000 times, and that's a great point, Cold Blood. That is a great point. But I want to show people something real quick. Hold on. That is a real great point. But I do want to remind people of this. You're Satya Nadella. You're not a fan. You're not a gamer. You're just trying to use gaming to boost up your cloud business. That's why you paid all that money for Call of Duty, and that's why cloud was the reason why it was put at a stranglehold. Yeah, cloud was. Because they saw, or they were snitched on by Google and others, because they wanted to bolster up their cloud business. So you're not really into gaming. You just care now, and you're writing these fat ass checks because you know how much gaming can bolster your cloud business, which at the time next to LinkedIn is your number 2 business, which is Satya's baby. That's where Satya came from, if y'all don't know, by the way. Satya used to be the head of cloud at Microsoft before he became CEO. So Satya is like an urban legend amongst investors who are looking for him to build up Microsoft's cloud business to one day outperform AWS. That's what his legacy is built on that. And he saw a great way to do it through the cloud. So that's why he was writing those checks. And a significant player in that is gaming. You don't know about gaming. You've hired this Phil Spencer guy. He's supposed to be the tell all about gaming. He's a rock star in the gaming community for whatever fucking reason. Not a rock star with consumers, but he's a rock star with journalists and award shows and all this other shit. So this guy should know something. I've written this guy big ass fucking checks. We were gonna develop this thing called Lockhart to Series S. He wanted to cancel it for xCloud. We invested in that. Then he realized that xCloud wasn't working. So we go back to the series. Like, I've pretty much bent to this dude's beck and will because I believe what he's telling me. And I told everybody 2023 was going to be the culmination for many of these platforms. So in 2023, that's why you saw Stadia die off. Stadia said, you know what? These motherfuckers bought Call of Duty. We're done. They went out. You saw 2023 fucking be record breaking for PlayStation. And what did you see 2023 be for Xbox? The Satya could put no more money. They bought Bethesda. They're buying ABK. He could do no more to bolster up Phil's competitive nature and what Phil promised him. And it failed abysmally. Now, why would Satya, why didn't he know better? What did Phil say to convince him that they were on top? Let me show you what he said to him. This, my friends, is an excerpt. I want to make this bigger. This is an excerpt from the FTC trial. An email that was sequestered from the documents, internal documents of Microsoft. This is an email from Phil Spencer to Satya Nadella and Amy Hood about him watching the PlayStation 5 reveal, them not knowing what the fuck it means for their Xbox Series consoles, and Phil giving what's supposed to be honest analysis of how they stack up against the PlayStation 5. This is not marketing. This is not him giving Tim Dog and Colt Eastwood talking points. This is him talking to his leadership team and giving them an honest assessment of what the PlayStation 5 means to them so they can best plan on how to move forward. This is what this dude truly thought. I read it to you. Here it goes. We have a better product than Sony. No, let me stop. We have a better product than Sony does. Not just on hardware, but equally important on the software platform and services on top of the hardware. Yeah, he said that. I'll continue. We have the ingredients of a winning plan. I continue. We haven't won anything, and I know we have hard discussions about pricing, P&L, and investment. This mail isn't trying to scoop any of that. Those discussions really matter. In other words, we still gotta do field research, invest in things, and see how these things, land as far as consumer reception. But we can take confidence in our product truth here. And I do believe in any conversation needs to start within believing that this was a good day for Xbox. This is an email from Phil to Satya to Amy. Under no circumstances, under no pretenses, does he believe that this is going to go public. He's not the wiser that in a few short years this will become part of the FTC trial. He doesn't know. This is his honest assessment when asked for one in regards to how Xbox is going to stack up to PlayStation. So when we talk about what Tim thought,
Moss, please, just for the to make your point even stronger, show them the gameplay of Falconer, just for 5 seconds, because he said the software is better on the Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Show them what he meant by better.
Let me see that.
Show them what Spider-Man and Demon Souls had to go up against.
Oh, here we go. Holy shit. Hold on. And let me make sure this is not another content creator. Falconer trailer. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Okay. This is from Xbox. Want you guys, here we go. This is the game that they launched with. When what was it? Dark Souls remake, like you said, Miles Morales, fucking Returnal, right? This was the thing that they should have been confident in. This is what, after seeing the PlayStation reveal, this is what made him confident that before they move any further, they just got to understand they got the recipes for a winning strategy. A console that bottlenecks your more expensive console. Same console that we found out today is 51% of the console owned in their largest market. So 51% of those gamers are experiencing a bottlenecked experience on Xbox because of the Series S monstrosity. This is what was going to do it. This is what had Phil Spencer say, we have better product than Sony does. Not just on hardware, but equally important on the software platform. Hold on. I'm going to give you another one. Crossfire X.
Moss.
Yeah.
Please kill this dude in chat. The most recent one. Please kill him, because that is some bullshit.
What did he say? He said Gears Tactics was there at launch, buddy. Returnal came in 2021.
Please kill him right now, Moss.
Gears Tactics? Let's let him kill himself. Let's go to Gears Tactics. Go to Gears Tactics.
He said at launch, right?
Yeah.
Where did it launch? Day one.
Gears Tactics. Oh no, I get all that. I just want, he left that so wide open. Let's take a look. Let's look at Gears Tactics.
No, because he mentioned Returnal, right, in 2021.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But where was Gears Tactics at launch? Day one.
Here we go. This was the game. That was the game that's supposed to do it. And Gears Tactics, my friend, to Cold Blood's point, where did that launch? Where did that launch? Trucknet. Where did Gears Tactics launch? Where did Gears Tactics launch? Where did it launch? Where did it launch? You're so quick to put this other crap in the chat. I don't know. I don't know if you realize you probably made a wrong turn. Where did it launch? I don't think you realize you made a wrong turn into the wrong chat, my friend. I digress. Anyway, we have a better product than Sony does. Not just on hardware, but equally important on software. Okay, so a game, hold on. Corey Bass says, oh boy, I should have known it, that Trunket or some stupid. No, we welcome Trunket here. He doesn't understand where he came into. But we embellished on this because people like you make our show. This is why True Virgil, and shout out to True Virgil. True Virgil and J Gaming, not J Gaming, have disappeared. They don't come here anymore. But Trunket can replace them. Bro, how well did Gears Tactics do on the Xbox platform? How well did it do? Who was talking about Gears Tactics on Xbox? You want to compare to Bugsnax. Nobody gave a shit about Bugsnax either. Because that didn't push the platform. You know what did? Demon Souls. And when I'm talking about launch, I'm talking about within those initial months after it launched. What dropped in the first year and a half of the Xbox? What dropped? What dropped in the first year and a half that had critical acclaim, sales, something? What dropped? Help us out. We have a better product than Sony does, not just in hardware, but equally in. So, to the point while we're waiting for Trunket to realize, to check his GPS and realize he made a wrong turn. But we welcome him here. I will argue, Cold Blood, that Tim, and he's admitted this, unwisely believed that Phil Spencer wanted to go in this direction. And I think he did. I think Phil just failed at it so bad. So bad that it didn't come to fruition. And Phil didn't let him know that, hey, I failed, so now I got to give up the car keys. Gears Tactics, Flight Sim, Forza Horizon 5, and Halo Infinite. Let's attack these one by one. Gears Tactics. I think when Gears Tactics came out, hold on, let's see something. I think when the Gears Tactics, I remember doing a video on this game, Gears Tactics. It launched. Initial release date was April 28th, 2020. Now that wasn't Gears Tactics. Gears Tactics.
No, that wasn't.
No, that wasn't. No.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about. I was thinking in my head, Gears Tactics wasn't the game that I was about to talk about. It did actually worse than the game I was talking about. Yeah, who talked about Gears Tactics? How well did it do? What is Gears Tactics rating? What is his Metacritic? How acclaimed is it? How many Xboxes did it push? Huh? Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep looking at your next one. What's your next one? Your next one is Your next one is Flight Simulator. So Flight Simulator sold a whole bunch of Xboxes, huh? Flight Simulator did it? Flight Simulator. Flight Sim. Forza Horizon 5. I think Forza Horizon 5 got a good rating, but look, it's like GT7. Racers are niche now. They don't do what they used to do in the PlayStation 1 or even in the PlayStation 2 generation. They don't do anything anymore. Racers are not console sellers. They're not increasing saturation. So yeah, kudos to Forza Horizon 5 and getting a decent score. As a matter of fact, let's check that out. And getting well reception. But it did not push Xboxes. Forza Horizon 5. Metacritic. And don't give me that crap about, well, it was on Game Pass, so games that are on Game Pass, they don't do well. You ain't gonna look at sales. That's bullpucky, and I'm about to explain to you why. Yep, Forza Horizon 5 had a 92 Metacritic. That's phenomenal. It's a niche racer. It's not gonna move units, just like Gran Turismo. And I believe Gran Turismo sells more than Forza Horizon. It doesn't matter. Its niche is not. It's complementary software. Racers are now.
Well, Gran Turismo pushed some VR2 units.
Yeah. Okay. True. I'll give them that. I wish Gran Turismo 5 could have pushed VR units, but Phil, he changed his mind on that. Well, I digress. But let's talk about this whole theory that Game Pass games don't sell on Game Pass. Number one, I thought Phil and Sarah Bond told us that Game Pass increases sales, right? Didn't they tell us that? And secondly,
Phil told us that.
Yeah. And Sarah Bond said that in an interview. To bolster the point, Trinket, we'll call you Trinket. To bolster the point, Trinket, fucking State of Decay 2, trash ass State of Decay 2, even though it dropped day and date in Game Pass, it outsold now the infamous God of War 2018, and it was God of War 2018's second month on NPD. It leaked over that, even though that was in Game Pass. So don't give me that bullshit about, oh, well, it's in Game Pass. That's some bullshit that y'all done made up that even is counteracted by your almighty Phil Spencer's words about Game Pass increasing sales. Let's go back to his trash ass list. What else do you got here? In Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is a success? Hey, Cold Blood, I don't know. I didn't realize that Halo Infinite was a success. Did you know it?
I could have sworn they just said they gonna rename the studio.
Rename the studio.
Forget about all the bullshit that they made and start from scratch.
Start from scratch.
With an engine that isn't made by them anymore.
Yeah, change your engine so you can sell units on PlayStation, right? Isn't that one of the games that Mag said, I think, too? Or I can't remember. He said
he said the next sequel will be on PlayStation.
Yeah. So your flagship, the whole identity of Xbox is tied to Halo. Is it tied to Starfield now? Is it Redfall? It's tied to Halo. So now we're going to see Master Chief on PlayStation. Holy fucking cow. They changed engines to make that happen. Right? They spent millions, if not billions, on this Slipspace engine just for this one game. That's how successful it was, Trinket. Trinket, it was that successful. They spent all this money on one engine for one game, and now they've already scrapped it. Stop it. Stop it. He said Game Pass increase MLB The Show. What is that? Hold on. Who cares? What is MLB The Show is a flagship PlayStation title that sold PlayStations? Are you serious? MLB belongs to the streets now because it's an IP owned by Major League Baseball. Who cares? PlayStation's flagship
I don't even know what the fuck we're arguing about right now.
He doesn't know what he's arguing, but he wants to come here. He came from some other podcast or heard about us probably because of the clip, and he think he's going to come here and have his rhetoric. He just got to understand he's going to become another pinata. We needed a replacement for Jay Gaming, not Jay Gaming, and True Virgil. Which True Virgil's actually funny. This dude is just, probably dealing with some bad, chromosome activity, brainwave wise.
True Virgil at least plays with Phil Spencer.
CD Projekt Red is a third party publisher. So thank you for making that correlation. Thank you for making that correlation. That Xbox moved to Unreal because they're a glorified third party publisher now. Thank you for making that correlation.
Bro lost the plot.
He's all over the place. He does what typical bots do. They'll come up here, and the point was that they had great games at launch because we were arguing about games that they had at launch that would move units. And our argument was that in the launch cycle, which is I wanted to know what he had in the first 18 months because he was mad that we mentioned Returnal. Well, what did Xbox have in the first 18 months? He gave us a bunch of shit that did nothing for the platform. Nothing at all. Nothing. So now he's coming, MLB only sold 1 million or whatever. We don't care. People are buying more PlayStations than they're buying Xboxes in phenomenal rates. They're getting destroyed in the only region that can make Xbox competitive, which is the United States. Xbox is doo-doo soup that you keep slurping for some reason. Nobody cares. Game Pass increasing MLB. Who cares that they increase MLB numbers? That's a third-party license. No, who cares about that? Many third-party devs are switching because they want to make money on PlayStation. They want to make money on PlayStation. Why are you glossing over that, Trinket? Trinket! Why are you glossing over that? Welcome to MM2K Gaming News, hosted by Cold Blood Sensei and MM2K. Welcome to our chat. We'll let our chat deal with you now. You don't even have the argument capacity to even get our time. You got to do better. Go look at our old podcast. Go look at what True Virgil, Jay Gaming did. At least they were funny and entertaining. You're just throwing a bunch of non-spastic nonsense out. But Phantom Dust with the original assets. Oh, Super Lucky's Tale. You're not making any sense. We'll let the chat deal with you. You had your 15 minutes of fame. How did Game Pass increase the sales of MLB? Or is it that MLB was now on Xbox and people said, oh, I don't have to deal with that trash ass Game Pass. I'm just going to buy the game. What are you talking about? It's a sport. It's a sports game. I'm going to buy the game. How did MLB, do you understand that MLB is on Xbox opposite of Game Pass. You don't make any sense. Dude, what are you smoking? What are you snorting? MLB sold 1 million because it's simply available to buy on Xbox. So the people that like baseball games that never had an opportunity to play a baseball game, who are not cheapskates and are willing to buy it, bought it. That has nothing to do with Game Pass. What are you talking about? That's even if that number is true, if that 1 million sold on Xbox.
I think, Moss, he's insinuating that they demoed MLB and bought it, but I don't believe that.
Well, he has no empirical proof of that. That's bullshit, because Xbox Game Pass gamers don't buy games. And that whole Game Pass helps you buy games thing, they did debunk that themselves when talking about cannibalization of sales. You got to look it up. Look at Xbox Game Pass cannibalizes sales. I'm doing your homework for you, Trinket. You got to get better here. Xbox Game Pass cannibalizes sales. Go on Google. This thing called Google, Trinket. Look it up and you'll find it. That where Xbox themselves came out and admitted, oh yeah, we said that as a talking point. That's not across the board globally. When they said that, they meant it for specific, like indie games, specific situations. It caused a spike in sales, not across the board. Go look it up, Trinket. Bro, stop it. Nothing that you're arguing correlates to Game Pass. You had a whole bunch of people on Xbox that were thirsting for a game, a baseball game. They got access to it. They bought it. It had nothing to do with Game Pass. Stop it. Yeah, he don't get it.
Moss, but did you realize that every time we talk about Phil, one of these crazy ass bots comes in our chat?
Yeah. Well,
if we talk about PlayStation, none of them are here.
Yeah. Yep. You got sick, then I was sick the week before, then we couldn't hear Mag's audio. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what Phil Spencer's trying to do and shit. He's sending out radio waves. Bro. You're trying to conflate and then you're done. Here's where you fucked up. Here's why you can't argue here. Here's why you lost and now you're done. Now we have to ignore you. And you got to get better. Just watch the old shows. You are trying to conflate Game Pass to sales. Microsoft debunked that themselves. I told you what to look up. Just because sales may increase or sales might be okay, and I'm not even conceding that these games sold well on Xbox. Sega was written a fat ass check, right? That's why they keep releasing these games there. But let's play devil's advocate and say that they did sell well. They did double sales in this imaginary world of yours, right? If that is the case, it has nothing to do with Game Pass. It's just that the games are now available on the console, and people that are willing to buy games that are on the console are willing to buy them. That has no correlation to Game Pass. You truly think that 1 million people, this is idiotic to believe this. You have no facts to support it. You have nothing to pull to that besides maybe a Boomstick podcast or some shit like that. The same Boomstick that said that in July, Helldivers was coming to Xbox. Go back there with that shit. You have nothing to correlate that to. You have no facts, no statistics. We deal with data here. That's why I said watch old podcasts and learn. When these games come to the platform, the people that do buy them, they'll just simply buy them. 1 million people are not going to play Yakuza and say, oh, let me buy the game even though I'm still subscribed to Gamepass. 1 million people are not doing that. Bruh, you guys don't buy enough games because there's not enough of you that are buying. Look at the percentages versus PlayStation sales versus Xbox sales when it comes to your favorite multiplats. Stop that. It has nothing to do with Game Pass. It has everything to do with those that are still on the platform buying games. They buy the games. That's it. That's simply it. There are not 1 million people saying, oh, well, I'm going to buy this game. What are you doing? You're not freeing up a slot. It's not, what do you call that shit? It's not GameFly. You got to free up a slot so you buy a game. You're going to have access to the game whether you buy it or not. So you have no empirical data to match any of that. It makes no sense. It does not correlate with the trends. You go to every single fucking chart, NPD, GSK, GFD, every global chart. Nothing matches up to what you say. PlayStation is outselling Xbox when it comes to a la carte sales, like 3-4 to 1 on average. Now we're supposed to believe that the bulk of these sales, that 1 million people that have Game Pass went and said, oh, I can still access this game in Game Pass, but I'm gonna buy it. Nothing that you say correlates. I delegate you to the chat. Have a wonderful gaming day. Anyway, that's why I'm saying cold blood in regards to Tim Dog. He know what's in this dude's head and this dude's heart. He just didn't know the challenges that he had in regards to his failures. And I don't think at the time he understood how much of a failure that he was. But remember, he admitted here that, hey, looking back at it, and he said it unprompted. We didn't even have to ask him a question. He said it himself. Now looking back at it, Phil just isn't good at his job. That's sad. Truly sad that he came out here and said that, hey, we have what it takes to beat PlayStation. Now, again, I'm gonna go back to my point. My point was, it's not the Xbox ideas that are so bad. Because if they couldn't have knocked it out of the park with the cloud, if they could have destroyed it with Game Pass and had games in there that people actually would flock to the service for, like if all that stuff was actually happening, oh hell yeah, I would support it. But Phil comes up with these whimsical expectations that he never lands on. And he's single-handedly, all the work that Seamus Blackley did, all the work that Peter Moore did, all the work that people did before him to make Xbox competitive, all the sacrifice they had to go through to make Xbox competitive. Some of it was shiesty, the red ring of death. There ain't no doubt about it. That was some shiesty shit. But in a shiesty way, it worked. All the stuff that they did to make Xbox competitive, one guy single-handedly destroyed it. And that's this guy right here on the screen. This guy right here. Unbelievable. Let's continue to play what he was saying, though. Before I went off on my rant, we got our new and Trinket tried to join it. Let's play what he was saying here. That, again, all I did was I went to Twitter and I typed in Phil Spencer promises. That's all I did. Let's play this.
An Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building, and the creative capability we will be able to bring to market for our Xbox customers. It's going to be the best it's ever been for an Xbox customer. The thing I want you to know,
I want y'all to notice something, and I just realized this. Pete Hines, who I really adored, I like Pete Hines. It was a no-nonsense exec over at Bethesda. Look at the placement of his hands. Anybody that knows body language, I got to remain calm. I got to chill out because I don't like what I'm hearing. This is him trying to play corporate as much as he could.
Customers, it's going to be
let's look back
customer it for our we'll be able to bring to market for our Xbox customers.
He's like, I'm trying to maintain a cool posture as much as I
can.
can.
An Xbox customer.
So that was a lie. That's another lie. There's dozens of these, but we're just going to show you the ones that we
4 games, online. No promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not. So
our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on other screens. And you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. And we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building.
Okay. Here we go. Assuming one of these games is Hi-Fi Rush, Phil Spencer lied to us and broke promises. The rumors got so out of hand that its announcement doesn't seem as bad as it could have been. I'm still disappointed. That's
why we're doing this. That's
okay. Yeah, we already heard that. Let's see here. All right, let's check this one out.
On PlayStation.
Phil Spencer promises 100% content parity for Call of Duty. We have no go. We don't. Yeah, whatever. When he promised VR, we saw that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's J-Dub. He says Sony's talking about PSVR 2 today, and it's sad that Xbox won't have VR after Phil Spencer promised to vest VR with highest fidelity pixel. Yep. Let's see here. Phil Spencer says that Xbox will continue to make hardware, and he wants PCs and handhelds feel as connected to the Xbox ecosystem. Like, you cannot go by what he says. Here goes a tweet from your boy. Remember when Matt Booty and Phil Spencer suggested that developers just need to learn how to develop for the Series S, essentially throwing it in their lap? Well, the following is from first-party dev Obsidian. Only thing to be learned is don't trust Xbox promises. Let's see what this is. Affordances for, we're still figuring out the specs for the Xbox Series S, says Obsidian. Just because it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles on the back end, but we have to we have got an amazingly skilled engineering team. We're so focused right now on polishing the content we have while simultaneously doing all the performance stuff, because that always comes at the end. So a lot of that stuff is hard to pin down now. This is a first party studio. This isn't Remedy or somebody. This is a first party studio saying this. I forgot all about that one. Let's see what else we got here. Him continuing to promise they're not going to stop making consoles. Let's see. I had a meeting. Let me see. Xbox did not leave Call of Duty. Phil Spencer on his way to increase Game Pass prices as soon as the Activision deal goes through. Who was that? That's Steve. Phil Spencer, this is Uni, poor Uni. Phil Spencer sets the record straight on Starfield exclusivity, Xbox consoles, hardware, future, and more. This is when he was like, I didn't take anything from PlayStation, when we found out later that, yeah, Starfield was coming to PlayStation. Phil Spencer throws in the towel. If we make great games, people still won't come.
A great solution or win for us. And I know that we're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top 2 players are as strong as they are and have in certain cases very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the 3 ecosystems, and their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, like the continuity from generation to generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs, and every new generation was a clean slate, and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s. That's not going to happen. So what we have to do, and we have this unique vision because we see what creators want to do.
Here's the interesting part of that, Cold Blood, and I didn't even realize this. In so many words, he's admitting that it's not part of Xbox's DNA to make great games, because he's refuting it. He's like, look, if you guys are saying all we got to do is make great games, that's an admission they're not making great games. To me, that's an admission to that they don't make great games. Now, they may have acquired some great performing IP. They got World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, right? They have Skyrim that potentially could do some stuff. They've acquired some great performing IP. But to me, that's an admission that, look, our focus is not great games. So you guys out here bitching and moaning about us not creating great games, and that's our problem. No, that's not our problem. Regardless of what we do, we're not going to outperform PlayStation and Nintendo. And I call bullpuck you on that. All you got to do is look at what you did during the 360 era. I'm not saying it's easy. You had a blueprint. I'm not saying that there weren't some other empirical things that fell in your favor, like PlayStation charging $600 for, but you were able to compete. You were able to stand your ground until luck fell in your favor. Because we don't know what's going on. Like, can you imagine in a year like 2024, like, even though PlayStation had some great second party and third party exclusives this year, and then they did have Astro, right? Can you imagine that in a year that still there's some strife about what PlayStation is doing because there's not a roadmap? Can you imagine in that year Xbox matching PlayStation's energy or even outperforming it? Can you imagine if what they were saying was actually true, that they was dropping 4 games of quality, not quality to them by their standards, but quality to our standards? If they actually dropped 4 games of quality every quarter and it made people flock to the console? So yeah, at the end of the day, when we crunched all the numbers, were we going to say, oh yeah, Xbox blew PlayStation up? No, but they could have done well more than what they're doing now, being outsold 2-1, creeping up to 3-1. When you look at places individualistically, they're being outsold 5-1 and even higher. Like, you don't have that if you create great games. And it only makes a better Xbox altogether. And then it makes all this other stuff that you're trying to do on the periphery, it makes it more plausible. Now people are coming to the cloud because they want to play your games. Now people are actually buying your games at rabid rates because they can access them on PC. Now you're making more money than PlayStation, who just simply is operating from its console. You're destroying PlayStation in money. Like, you've bought the biggest publisher in the world and you still are like 7 billion behind Play. That's crazy to me. It's like that because this guy just doesn't get it. It's all about quality and he's not about that. He ain't about that life. Andrew Wilkins says in the chat, hold on, let me get to some of you guys in the chat. Andrew Wilkins says in the chat, Phil is right. Great games alone won't have them beat or compete with Sony. They've been dropping all garbage since do you mean since the Xbox One? Even non-gaming females be saying Xbox is a bad brand. Remember, idiots said Xbox One had a better launch lineup than the PlayStation 4. How did that work? Well, they did. They did have a better launch lineup. It just, PlayStation didn't have one, really. And Microsoft's was mediocre. So even though it was a better launch lineup, PlayStation admitted it themselves right before they launched Uncharted 4. They were like, yeah, we get it. You guys are complaining that our offerings have been weak. Our exclusive offerings have been weak. They actually apologized for it. They said, we're sorry, we're about to drop some heat on you, and then the rest is history. So yeah, they did have a better launch lineup, but it was mediocre. Who was responsible for the launch lineup? This guy. That's when he was head of Worldwide Studios. This guy. So when he was...
But wait. Wasn't it the bots that said Donny D destroyed Xbox?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was Donny D and Terry Myerson. You can't forget Terry Myerson. Terry Myerson was holding the checks. He was buying prostitutes with the money. It was Terry Myerson. It was Terry Myerson.
He probably was.
He could have been. We're not. This dude, Phil Spencer, has no talent. It probably would have been the best. Probably now in hindsight, the best thing for Xbox probably would have been them being sold off. That probably would have been the best thing. Somebody selling them off, somebody else trying to get in this thing. Yeah, it would be another reboot of some shit, but somebody else that was serious. Maybe you have some execs get together and say, oh, now, look, this Xbox has like a killer lineup of IP. Let's fucking do it. They'd probably be better off. Exclusive is exclusive no matter what the party at on the console. The same people whose internet can't handle Tekken 8 are going to have a good time cloud gaming. Yeah, the problem isn't so much them wanting to do cloud gaming. The problem is them relying on cloud gaming when they didn't even have a stranglehold of their main business. That's like, okay, me and Cold Blood, we're competing restaurants. He has Cold Blood Pizza, I have MM2K pizzas, right? And say Cold Blood's pizzas, like everybody's going to Cold Blood. I might like get one customer a week and shit, right? Right? And I'm supposed to be a pizza shop. And so then I say, you know what? Fuck that. Here's how I'm going to outperform Cold Blood. I'm going to start selling hamburgers too. Just because I expand my menu, does that mean that I'm going to win? No. I'm losing. If everybody's going to Cold Blood and they're not coming to me, and we're both selling pizza and we're both across the street from each other, they're not coming to me probably because my pizza tastes like shit. So if my pizza tastes like shit and I'm the ones, and I got the same chef that made the pizza making hamburgers, what guarantees that my hamburgers are going to be any better? And they're not. How does this relate to gaming? Okay, my business was built around consoles. It was built around it. You bring in this new dude, he completely fails at it. Now he wants to go to cloud gaming, something that is not proven yet. Has a lot of potential, but it's not proven yet. I believe it's going to become mainstream, but it's going to take years for it to do it. We see the potentiality of it. Look at fucking GeForce Now Ultimate. Look at what PlayStation's doing. Yes, its inevitability is going to come. It's just going to take some time for it to come. But that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be good at it. You couldn't even make pizzas. And I got the same motherfucker that is making the hamburgers that fucked up the pizzas. Bro, it's no simpler than that. I can't create a simpler scenario than that. The problem isn't the menu. Like I said, the problem isn't the ideas. The problem is your chef. Your chef is trash. He's garbage. I don't care if Trinket or whoever comes here, Jay Gaiman, Virgil, I don't care who comes here to try to argue some obscure, obtuse argument. It's trash. Nobody wants it. Starfield, the user ratings are severely under the Metacritic, meaning they tried to rate it on the curve. It's trash. Shattered Space, trash. All this stuff is trash. Objectively, I can say that. Why? Because the gamers in unison, or the majority of gamers rather, they are rejecting it. It's trash. It's not selling consoles. Can I show you guys something? I think I can. It's Matt Piscatella. Now y'all done drove my boy Matt Piscatella to fucking blue sky, and he don't want no parts of Twitter. Can I show you guys something? Now I want to show you what people like Trinket will try to do here. Trinket, we're going to make you famous. You came here, we're going to make you famous. That's what we do here at MM2K Gaming. We gnaw on your ass like a fucking pit bull. We don't let go until we done rip that limb off. So welcome to MM2K Gaming. All right, so Xbox Series hardware. This is from NPD of September. Xbox Series hardware spending dropped 54% year over year. PlayStation dropped 45%, and Switch dropped 23%, also showing sharp declines. Year-to-date hardware spending is now 30% lower than a year ago. Here's what people like Trinket and other people will try to do. They will say, you know what? PlayStation's fallen too. What's the big deal? This doesn't make any sense. Why are we making a big deal out of this? PlayStation's fallen too. Here's the difference. PlayStation is falling, and they're having 45% less sales from a breakout year where they sold more hardware than they ever did in a single year of the PlayStation 4 generation. You understand that, right? They almost sold 21 million consoles. The most that they ever sold during the PlayStation 4 era was 20. So they almost beat the PlayStation 4 era by a whole million consoles sold, right? So you have a record-breaking year that beat the formidable PlayStation 4 era. And so the subsequent year, you have a decline. It's not the same from Xbox, who they have a 54% decline from an already abysmal year of 2023. 2023 was one of its worst years for hardware sales. So from one of your worst years, you have a 54% decrease versus Company B, who has a 45% decrease from a record-breaking year. It's not the same. But you'll get people like Trinket that'll come here and argue that type of buffoonery. You do it all the time. And they'll come here and we'll make them famous, because that's what we do here at MM2K Gaming. We'll make you famous. It's crazy. They will try to make an argument that, oh, it's the same. Oh, see, everybody's falling. It's the industry. You see Destin Legary and all them do that. It's the industry. But they leave out those little caveats, those little trinkets of information while they sit in their silos and argue about fantastical, whimsical, non-realistic performances by Xbox. Xbox is doing horrible. It's doing horrible in hardware, and it's heavily declining year after year. It had 54% drop in sales from 2023. Who did worse than 2022? Horrible. So, yeah, it's all about, look, as a gamer, you can like something, but I think it's time now for Xbox gamers to examine and look in the mirror and wonder why they like Xbox. Is it that you like Xbox or you hate PlayStation? And for those of you that are lurking, that have come here because of the clip or whatever, and Trinket drew the shortest stick. So that you go out there and you try to argue these talking points. Here's a little bit of background on me. I used to be a former Xbox. Matter of fact, I came to YouTube. I was original when I had an OG Xbox. Loved the OG Xbox. Loved the 360 is my favorite generation of the last few generations. And I saw the calamity and the collapse of Xbox last gen under Phil Spencer. And one of my first videos on my channel, even though like I was battling Porter Rock, we went back and forth. I was battling King Thrash. He came on our show when it was when we had Scram Punks on this channel. We were battling back and forth and tried to jump him, right? All in the name of Xbox. I truly believed that even though I had my angst about Phil Spencer, that there were enough quality people there that could, at least from a game perspective, get the platform back up to par. Not only did that not happen, but they've totally lost their chutzpah when it comes to being able to make even great hardware, to come up with great auxiliary software to support the hardware. Like everything that made me flock to Xbox is gone. It's dead. It's dead. No more great first party games, which that was never the pillar of Xbox. No great second or third party game partnerships. Like games like Jade Empire, BioShock, Mass Effect, they made Xbox. Even simply getting marketing deals to Fallout 3. That associated the type of games that you were plugging money into and you were supporting. The type of quality that you were embedded with. All that's gone under Phil Spencer. It's dead. It's dead. So I understand the lore of fanning for Xbox. It's, you looked across the street and you said, oh, those games are just walking simulators, or they're just that, or they're just this. We got nuanced, different Western style game types that are being developed over here. They suck over there. And we really socked it to them during the 360 generation to prove that they're not as almighty as they want people to believe, right? I can understand it then, when they actually had the content to back up the rhetoric. They don't now. So I'm not a fan of Xbox just to wave a flag. I play games. And the games that they're putting out just are not up to par. The partnerships that they're making are not good. Crossfire X? What the fuck was that? The Medium? I mean, the one game which is out of their control, and shout out to them, Stalker 2. That's like the best partnership that they had, but again, because of everything that's happening with them, they had to delay the releasing in the game. So where was the money wheel coming out to ensure that better second party deals were happening? Where was that? No, you invested in trying to buy up property. You spent $100 billion on fucking studios. Don't give me that bullshit that, oh, you made it hard for us to be Xbox. No, you were fucking dumbasses and made the wrong decisions and you lost. Going against what made Xbox Xbox. So it's not about the cloud. It's not about putting your games on PC. If the execution was there, I would have been all for it. But the execution to make it successful wasn't there. And you guys still trucked along and you're failing because of it. You're spread too thin everywhere. You have no identity. And the only thing that's going to save grace for you is going full-fledged publisher with an ability to still create a console, hardware, or a platform to where you can reap the benefits of some of these third-party games, like some of the Leviathan games, the Fortnites and whatever. And then if there's a big Leviathan game that even the publisher says, well, you know what, let's put this on Xbox too because it'll sell well everywhere. Let's put it, games like that. You're forced into an ecosystem like that because publishers, again, have said off the record, why are we even supporting this platform? Like, why are we even doing it? No point. So I get the lore. But then you got to understand, how embedded have you become in just the war itself opposed to being a fan of great games? When I started, I'm going to tell you what changed my mind about Xbox. When I saw Phil Spencer go on stage at DICE, I think it was 2018, and admit that we aspire to make games as good as PlayStation. I said, what? I did a double take. I said, what? This Porter Rock showed me the clip. And I said, Porter Rock, you're fucking kidding me. How did you deep fake this? He's like, no, this ain't no deep fake, MM. This is real. We talked about that in our interview. Check it out. If you're a member. If you're not a member, just hit that join button. You'll get access to even more great content. He said, no, M. And I said, what? And that was the beginning of it. Then I started seeing them back away from the hardcore. It's not all about headshots. What are you talking about? Hardcore gamers like that are at your core. You don't throw them under the bus. You attribute your success to them and say, we're going to maintain what made us and we're going to expand. Don't discredit us. It's not about headshots and kills and all of this stuff. This motherfucker actually commented to our show when we were doing it with Z and said that Sea of Thieves was just a coincidence. We're going to have come out with more hardcore games. Just a coincidence. Then when they didn't come out with more hardcore games and Sea of Thieves started seeing some multiplayer numbers, I guess people do like chasing chickens and black pigs. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. That's when I realized this Phil Spencer dude is just incompetent. And as long as he's at the helm, Xbox will not get better. They will just try a whole bunch of shit that will fail. And while I'm watching them collapse and fail, I hear PlayStation call out to me, hey, you're a hardcore gamer, aren't you? Yes, I am. Who the fuck is that? This is the spirit of PlayStation. Guess what? We got some hardcore shit over it. I know y'all don't. Y'all got Walking Simulator. Hey, whatever. Try God of War 2018. What? Just try it. And the rest is fucking history. So I get it. A lot of you been in these silos listening to these podcasts and you have been indoctrinated in believing that the PlayStation games are trash. I'm here to tell you, in my opinion, starting with God of War 2018, that all went out the door. You have to play these games to believe it. And most of you haven't played them. That's why you believe that shit. I only tried God of War 2018 because I was trying to run a gimmick. I was trying to prove, quote unquote, you don't need to buy a PlayStation. That if they do get a game that's got a lot of buzz behind it, I was like, here's what you do. I went to a place called Aaron's where you can rent video games and a bunch of shit, right? Or hardware or plays. And so I rented my PlayStation 4 Slim. It was like $20-$30 a month, right? I mean, $20-$30 a week. And I said, I'm going to rent PlayStation for $20 a week. At the time, I still had Gamefly. I said, I'm going to rent God of War from Gamefly. Did that. And I said, I guarantee you, in 5 days, I'm going to beat God of War. I'm going to play it on the second to hardest level. It's going to be a breeze. It's going to be easy because that was my experience with Uncharted 4. It's going to be easy. It's going to be overrated. Fuck this shit. PlayStation is trash. Do you know that I had that PlayStation for 6 months? They beat me here with a cash register for that PlayStation because I was so engrossed in God of War. And it wasn't easy. It was a full-fledged game all the way around. How it looked, how it played, the story. It was so engrossing. I have the full gameplay here on this channel. Just look up God of War MM2K. You'll see my entire walkthrough there and how much I loved it. And I spent the time through the credits talking about how amazed I was. That was the first time I played a PlayStation game opposite of the original Killzone, which God of War 2018 was way better, even though I still love that original Killzone. It's the first time I played a PlayStation game and was like, damn, I'm glad I have a PlayStation. Holy fuck. It was the first time I felt that way about a PlayStation first party game. So then I was like, try this Last of Us 2. And then, oh, I fucking got it. Made me buy a PlayStation 4 Pro. Yes, I bought the Pro-tato. I was like, I gotta play this in the bells and whistles. Got my hands on Ghost of Tsushima. Rest was, it was history. So I'm telling you guys that are listening to these podcasts that have had an agenda in lying to you. Now they're starting to come around. There's no reason. It's not a coincidence that Mag came on here, discussed this with us. Had a little bit of different of an opinion. Shout out to Mag. We love Mag. Mag is the homie. But we had a little bit of different opinion of how people like Colt and maybe Fawns should be viewed for what they were saying about Xbox. And, you know, we look at it as a little bit less transparency. He gave us arguments on why he felt like it was just them having a differencing opinion. All fine and good. But Mag came on here and gave a similar story because he actually just tried the games. He didn't believe the hype. A lot of the people that are out here hyping Xbox and talking unrealistically about what PlayStation is offering, they're some of his friends. Now, he's not going to say anything negative about his friends, not like how we are. He's not going to say anything negative about his friends, but he's just attacking the point of view. He's saying, no, I don't agree with them. They're my friends. I love them to death. I don't agree with them. I can do nothing but respect that. But there's a reason why Mag came on here and felt implored to do that. Because even though he had a different perspective on his friend's approach, he also wanted you guys to understand, you're missing out. You're dying of thirst over here. And there's a whole oasis over there that you think is a mirage. It's real. Come over to this motherfucker. Drink the water. Bathe in the motherfucker. Walk in it barefoot. It's an abundance over here. You're only hurting yourself because you're over here dying of thirst laying in the sand. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all are missing out so much. You need to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Fucking Stellar Blade is my game of the year so far. Still nothing has beat it. Stellar Blade is an awesome fucking game. Holy fucking shit. Y'all are missing out on so much listening to these creators who now are going to tell you after the fact. But it's okay, Cold Blood. It's okay, because guess what's coming out? The PlayStation 5 Pro. So now, not only, I mean, you're fine with the base PlayStation, I feel. But if you're more of a hardcore gamer that's willing to invest a little bit more to get the best experience possible, get that fucking PlayStation 5 Pro and play all these games that they told you was no good. And then you'll see, you won't be up here like Trinket trying to make excuses. You'll see why Xbox is underperforming. And it'll make you look at Phil Spencer in a different light and say, you know what? This dude, he might be a good dude, but bro, fuck it. He's not good for me as a consumer. Might be a nice guy, but he's not good for me as a. It's a reason why, Mag, as soon as we asked him, he did not hesitate. PlayStation is no good. I mean, not PlayStation. Xbox under Phil Spencer is no good. Let's go to the chat. He said, Rise, son of Boar, with short, repetitive trash, not what's supposed to be a VR game originally. They're arguing about the lineup. Look. I come down the middle, meaning I don't believe coming down the middle means, oh, I give 1 point to Xbox, give a point to PlayStation, give a point. No. When I say I come down the middle, I mean, I'm looking at things objectively as they were perceived. Objectively, the PlayStation launch lineup versus the Xbox launch lineup is commonly looked at objectively as Xbox did have a better launch lineup, but PlayStation had the better console. Xbox's launch lineup was mediocre to PlayStation's launch lineup, which was pretty much non-existent for the most part. But the games that were truly shining, the games that were really making you buying a next-gen console at that time worth it were the third-party games. And PlayStation played them better and were asking you for less in order to play them. It's a no-brainer there. The Geek says, Andrew Wilkins, fair to say you hate Xbox? See, I'll come down the middle. I'm not going to, I'm not these people out here that argue that Xbox never won a generation or whatever. Look at the software sales. That's all I got to say for the 360 era. You know what I mean? To be fair, MM2K, Sony stomping Xbox out in console sales means that the price for the bigger games to skip PlayStation and do Xbox exclusivity is more than double than what. Yeah, it is, Corey. And I appreciate you trying to be fair to Xbox, but it was always that way, Corey. It was always that way. What did they do during the 360 era when it was double the price? They just paid the price. You got to play the cost to be the boss. You have to pay the cost to be the boss. Xbox understood that and they did what they were supposed to do. And they paid that price. And we know they got the money, Corey, because why? Because they just spent $100 billion fucking dollars on absorbing all these companies that again still keep them $8 billion annually away from PlayStation. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I want to say one more thing, and then we're going to get ready to get out of here. Astrobot. There's this fake debate about Astrobot I got to address. Which is, routinely do we see people say, and oh yeah, and don't forget. Please don't forget. All you got to say, if you think I'm bullshitting, just simply go to Phil Spencer Promises on Twitter and just scroll. That's it. It'll take you through the hot tub time machine, because I know a lot of you guys and gals just live in the first 5 minutes of now. Go through the hot tub time machine and see all the blunders and colossal fuck-ups from Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is at the core of the problem here. I'm not saying that he didn't have challenges with Satya. He's just not good at this. Remember, the guy told you Crackdown was the game that was gonna fucking the game was going to, he told you Crackdown was the game that Xbox gamers deserved. Despite what Trinket was out here saying, the true launch exclusive, like day one exclusive, you can't even say Gears Tactics wasn't, because it was available on PC beforehand. The true launch exclusive for Xbox day one was fucking the Falconer, for crying out loud. The Falconer. Nothing against that studio, because I've talked to those guys before. They're a great indie studio. Wired Gaming, I think, is the publisher. Those are great people. But we're talking about the big stage here. AAA gaming big stage. The Falconer. We gotta stop. Like, just so much, so many fuck ups. The Series S was such an abysmal failure that the video that they had showcasing the hardware, they had to make private. We downloaded it, we still got it, but they had to private that video. You can actually you might still be able to go to IGN and see it too, but we're not gonna play it because they privated it and they might do some copyright fuddy-duddy shit, but that's how bad it is. So just check out Phil Spencer Promises. All right, I wanna close out with this. Fake debate about Astrobot. Clute says Astrobot didn't even make the top 20 year-to-date sales of 2024. Seems like I wasn't wrong here in assuming that Astrobot will sell less than Hi-Fi Rush did in Engagement. So let's go and let's look at the facts here. Let's go to our good friend Matt Piscatella and let's see what he's showing us about Astrobot. Number one, Astrobot is number 2 for September. Remember, Astrobot is the only game. Astrobot is number 2 on here, and it's only available on the PlayStation 5. So it's going against games that are available everywhere. It's only available on the PlayStation 5, but nobody buys PlayStation games, right? Only available on the PlayStation 5, and it's number 2. Now, with that said, the list that Clute tried to show you was the year-to-date list. So 9 months into the year, Astrobot isn't in the top 20 9 months into the year. That was supposed to be what was going to happen, even though it's only on PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 5 is only in its 4th year, right? However, you want to know the reality about Astrobot? Even though it didn't make the top 20, it's the 25th best. It only missed the slot by 5 marks. The 25th best seller, and it came in the game 9 months after the fact. All these other games have a 9-month hit, up to a 9-month head start. All these other games have up to a 9-month head start. And Astrobot, just on PlayStation alone, is still 25th. We're going to continue to watch this space. Cold Blood, I don't know if you're still around or if you're still handling some stuff behind the scenes. I just want to get your thoughts on this fake Astrobot criticism, before we close out. What do you think about this?
I would ask them, where's that Xbox game that everyone was hyping up Hellblade at? If y'all want to compare a game that just came out recently, and Hellblade that came out in summer. Well, where's Hellblade at?
Yeah.
What rank is Hellblade right now?
Yep. Yeah, and come on now. Hellblade
It was in Game Pass. It was in Game Pass.
Yeah, nobody trying that bullshit. Starfield ranked even though it was in Game Pass. State of Decay 2, for crying out loud, ranked in the... Stop. Gears ranked before when it was in Game Pass. And these games they launch day and date on PC as well. On Steam. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Who made the statement? This is who made the statement. Astrobot didn't even make the top 20 year-to-date sales. Seems like I was wrong. I wasn't wrong here. And their assessment was Astrobot will sell less than Hi-Fi Rush did in engagement. You see this fantastical shit? Trinket, look, bro. D-Batch, here, let me show y'all. D-Batch wants a PlayStation contract. Trinket, we got space, bro. We'll send you one. Trinket, I'm glad you showed up here, brother. I told you I'll make you famous. It's all love, though. It's just sometimes we gotta have these coming to Jesus speeches. Because you're not talking to somebody, you're not talking to some career pony. I was a big Xbox. I battled Porter Rock and King Thrash and stuff like that. Me and P-Rock was laughing and joking about that. We were having a blast talking about that. And I didn't do it for clicks, because the popular thing now was to support Xbox until Xbox gave up on Xbox content creators. That was the easiest grift out there. But you guys just gotta understand, Xbox is just doing horrible. They're doing horrible. And for Phil to say we have the better product, like, Trinket, here's what you gotta understand, bro. Do that. Here's what you gotta understand. It doesn't matter, even if I still like Xbox. It wouldn't matter if I liked Xbox. It doesn't matter if you like Xbox. Phil Spencer gets paid a whole bunch of money that we'll ever see. He gets paid so much money to assess the gaming demographic and what they'll like, and package whatever it is that he wants to package in a way that they'll like it. That's his job. It's not about if you like it or if I like it or if a couple content creators will make some bullshit on it. He is so detached from the gaming community that what he assessed is so far from reality. But this reality, bro, I predicted. Now, it's different, Trinket. I mess with you. I fuck with you because you stepped on the landmine. That's what we do around here. We don't help you. We just go, your leg got maimed. That's what we do around here. We're assholes like that. That being said, I'm not even mad that you think the way that you think, that other people that have come here think the way that they think. It's not your job to know any better. It's not. I mean, as a consumer, I like being an informed consumer, so I try to educate myself. I feel like you could educate yourself and be a better consumer for yourself and better educate yourself, but it's not your job to do so. If you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. It's this man's job to be acclimated to the mindset of the consumers, and he's so way off base. That should concern you, Trinket. That should concern the hell out of you. It ain't about getting you. It's about getting the gaming demographic. They already got you. He can't walk and chew gum. He can't create something that'll continue to maintain you and then do furthermore to do better. That is a sign of piss poor leadership. That should make you itch. And the problem that it doesn't is sad. because you're not informing yourself as a consumer. If you like something, I don't care if it's a fast food joint or whatever, but you see that it's empty, that should concern you. Be like, oh, I better not get too invested in this because this thing might not last. I was there, bro. I've been there. I've been gaming on Xbox since 2006. It hurt me, bro. Me and my brother, we ran an effort. We called it Mindbenders, New Age Faction, where we actually wrote to Redman when the OG Xbox was out and asked them. We didn't understand how this stuff worked. We asked them, why aren't there more games with System Link? I may be telling my age with that one. You probably don't understand that. With System Link on there, just look it up. We was writing Redman, going to different GameStops and different game stores, the Game Exchange, EB Games, and building up a petition and sending those to Redman. I've been with Xbox close to day zero as you're going to get. This is not, I saw what worked. I saw what failed. I got a better understanding of gamers because of it. This dude that has been day one with Xbox in a lot of ways, he doesn't have the insight that I have. That's what scares me. I can't invest in a product like that. I have not worked for Microsoft a day in my life. All I've done is play games like him. I have better insight on what's going to work. And not just me, Cold Blood has done it too. We've all just being gamers and following what's happened, what's worked, what hasn't worked. We have better insight on what gamers were going to accept than he would. We told you exactly how this was going to land. It's all on this channel. I told you guys. This 1440p mission, it's not going to work because Phil is not going to make it. It's not going to do what they claim it's going to do. I argued that before launch. I said, hey, you guys need to listen to Brad Sams. Oh, screw Brad Sams. How are you saying screw Brad Sams when he's part of the #1 think tank for all things Microsoft, the Paul Thurrott think tank? These guys are tied into Microsoft more so than any other company could be that ain't Microsoft themselves. You need to listen to these dudes. Listen to what the developers are saying. This box cannot do this stuff. Well, screw that, Phil said. And it got so bad they had to private the video. We were trying to tell you guys this in 2019 and 2020. I knew how this was going to land. PlayStation is going to decimate them. I knew this. That's why I had my PlayStation 5 day one. I cannot follow somebody in charge of a multi-trillion-dollar or division within a multi-trillion-dollar company when I have more insight than them and I'm just a consumer. That's unacceptable. I would say 80% of y'all in this chat who follow this channel, because we have a habit of doing what we do, and we have a small following, and we treat it like a family. But what we do, even if I'm going back and forth with Corey Massey or Andrew Wilkins or Geek to Sneak, we appeal to sharp-minded gamers. We appeal to people that think and look beyond the veil. And because we do that, that's why we challenge y'all in the chat. And when we challenge y'all in the chat, those of you that come the next day, like Corey Massey, I say that's a sharp motherfucker. We purposely press y'all because we only want sharp thinkers here. We don't want just simple fans. We want people that can look behind the veil and think. And I'm here to tell you that 80%, now we got lurkers here too, whatever, and they can do whatever, it's open to everybody. You do whatever you want. I am here to tell you that 70 to 80% of you that are part of this chat, that are part of this family, have better insight to Phil Spencer. That's a problem to me. I can't follow anybody like that. I have no faith in them. They have to prove it to me that their insight has grown. Until that happens, Trinket or anybody else that's lurking that still wants to make excuses for Phil Spencer, Xbox is done, son. Now, Microsoft Gaming, they might be fine. I think Microsoft Gaming is going to be fine. Microsoft Gaming ain't going nowhere, but Xbox, it's done, son. If I can predict better than the CEO of a company embedded in $1 trillion parent, this to me is asinine. I would have said, what drugs are you on, son? For saying we have a better product than Sony does? Not just on hardware, but equally. So you didn't understand the bottleneck of the Series S when the developers were telling you that? Huh? Brad Sams could see it. Literally. And y'all think I'm being facetious, but no, I laid the case out. For all of us that saw how this would transpire, I am not bullcrapping you. 70 to 80% of y'all in this chat, which I'm not gloating like we're the best business execs. Some of y'all probably have never been spend a day in business all your lives. You just have a connection to gamers. You understand patterns. To me, that's sad. Just because you're a thinker, that 70 to 80% of you have a better perspective of what's going to happen, what's going to work for gamers than the CEO that's probably making 7 figures could. That's sad to me. That's sad. And they had to take the keys away from him like that because he's that detached. His days of selling hope, being a hope merchant, are over. Just off of that alone, I couldn't be comfortable with that. So, Trinket, I get when I say, hey, let me give you a PlayStation contract, and you're like, no, I'm good. Are you really good? Are you? I mean, if you have a PlayStation, again, don't say this just to lie for appearances. Honestly, ask yourself. You don't have to answer this here in the chat. Ask yourself, do you have a PlayStation? Because I'm doubtful that you do. You might have one, but I'm doubtful that you do. And if you don't have one, why don't you have one? I'm telling you, as someone that grew up, well, not grew up, but someone who has been with Xbox pretty much close to day zero. The games that we desired, the games that made Xbox what it was, that made it even competitive, they're no longer being made there. They're no longer doing the partnerships to get them there. Stalker 2 might be the closest you'll get. They are being made at PlayStation. Those partnerships are at PlayStation. And that's the sad reality of things. He said, nah, bro, I ain't got no problem with you. It's just, I ain't got no problem with you either, Trinket. But this is what we do because we have a no tolerance to just bibble babble. When you come to this chat, you got to know your facts. You ain't got to always agree. Geek to Sneak. Shout out to my homie Geek. Geek don't hardly agrees with anything I say. Big time supporter of the platform. He's giving away a goddamn controller. We finalizing that. We have a multifaceted. Me and Cold Blood don't agree. We argue y'all know that. We argue all the time. We have a thinking pot of participants here. So it's not about me having a problem with you. I don't know you. I just know the rhetoric that you're prescribing to is way off. So if you're going to come here with some way off rhetoric, it ain't nothing personal. I ain't got to like you or dislike you. But you're not going to come here and prevail with way off rhetoric. You're going to get challenged. If you don't get challenged by the chat, you're going to get challenged by myself, or you're going to get challenged by Cold Blood. That's just the way that it is, bro. And Cold Blood's the one that caught your comment in the chat. That's just how we operate. We don't do the broomstick. Hey, I might be a boo, but I'm going to say that Helldivers is coming in with no empirical proof. We don't entertain fairy tales here. So it's nothing personal, brother or sister. It's nothing personal. We have a multitude of games. Like I just, semi-debated something that Andrew Wilkins said. But you got to come in with your facts, not with fairy tales. So it's nothing personal. But again, I'm just posing a question to you because, like I said, I'll make you famous. I think you made a wrong turn, but hopefully you'll stay. Hopefully you'll stay for the soup. I'm just telling you, Trinket. If you don't have a PlayStation, and I only want you to answer that question, I really want you to sit and do some self-evaluation. If you don't have a PlayStation, why? Because you don't really know how good a game is until you play it. And if you don't have a PlayStation 5, this is my challenge to you. Do what I did last gen when I tried to ridicule PlayStation and it backfired on me because I actually started understanding how much PlayStation they had become. Go rent a PlayStation 5. If you're in the continental United States, there should be a rent-a-center, a place called Aaron's, or whatever you might have locally. Go rent a PlayStation 5 just for a week. And just go grab one of these games. Go grab God of War Ragnarok 2018. Go play Last of Us 2 Remastered or something like that. Go get Stellar Blade. Just play them. Just play them. And see what I'm saying. And you'll be like, holy shit. Or better yet, how about you do this? Go rent. Wherever you can rent the game, go rent Spider-Man 2. Go sign up for GameFly. Go rent Spider-Man 2. Rent Spider-Man 2. Play it. And if you don't walk away from Spider-Man 2 saying, you know what? Not only do I like this game, but this is better from all angles, better than anything Xbox has put together under Phil Spencer. If you don't walk away thinking that, Trinket, I think you prefer Xbox games because you just don't know any better. You're that person in the desert. You're dying of thirst. You're thirsty. You got to be thirsty. Because all your contemporaries around you, they're leaving Xbox. Will Sink, who's another Xbox faithful, he readily admits it's dry over there and it's bad over there. You said it yourself in the chat. They got to do better. You just don't understand what you've been missing out on. You need to get you a PlayStation 5. Rent one. Rent one, go to Gamefly and rent Spider-Man 2. Come back to me and call me Boo Boo the Fool if you still want to say I'm Boo Boo the Fool. But if you're being honest, you'll know it's not even going to take you 2 hours to know, holy shit, this is better than anything Microsoft has put together or designed or even funded in the last 10 years. What's up, Jenna Hayes? Good to see you. El Nini in the house. Good to see y'all. Oh man, y'all came in late, man. I gotta go, man. I gotta go. Yeah, you're depriving yourself, my friend. You're depriving yourself unnecessarily. And I'm telling you, as someone, again, I'm speaking directly to you, not because I have a problem. I can relate, bro. You remind me of me in 2016, 2017, when I was like, oh man, I used to just have a PlayStation around for my RPGs. Because, that's where all the RPGs went to. Like, oh man, them PlayStation games, you are depriving yourself by not having a PlayStation 5. Oh my God. Oh my God. You are depriving yourself by not having a PlayStation 5. Seriously. Just off of 2024 alone, Grand Blue Fantasy, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Stellar Blade. Oh my. Helldivers 2, you're depriving yourself. Now, I can't remember, did you say you had PC? Now, if you have a PC and you don't, you can get Helldivers 2 and Grand Blue Fantasy there. But if you don't have a gaming rig that can play those games, oh my God, you haven't been able to play Helldivers 2 and Grand Blue Fantasy. Oh my God, bro, you're depriving yourself. And you're starving yourself for no good reason. I know you may prefer Xbox games, but PlayStation has a variety of games. I don't fall into that first party bibble babble. Oh, the first party, this and that. Man, the hell with that shit. Let Hard Geek run with that bull crap. It's all about exclusives. Xbox was built on second and third party exclusives, bro. So I don't even fall into that bibble babble about first party games. That was some stuff that Ponies put out there last gen, just did another way to fuck with y'all mentally. Y'all ain't got no first party games. Y'all lost the power narrative. They was just fucking with you. Y'all gotta understand when y'all being trolled. They were just fucking with y'all. It's about what makes my marketplace better than your marketplace. It could be first party, second party, third party, 20th party, second pillar. It doesn't matter. If I can get it here, but I can't get it there, it boosts up the valuable argument of the marketplace. And there's so many games. Like when Colt was putting his hit, I felt him. I ain't never felt Colt. I ain't felt Colt in the 99 years. I ain't felt Colt. Nothing Colt said since 1919. I ain't never felt Colt. I felt Colt when Hard Geek was like, oh, they didn't have any good games. And Colt was like, oh my God, they had so many good games. I felt Colt. I felt it in the pit of my belly when he did that. Like, oh my God, I cringed with Colt. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm saying it live on there. I cringed with him. It's the truth. You're denying yourself unnecessarily to roll with a motif. I like the Xbox games. You know somebody else who said that? Trinket? I like that name for you, Trinket. So my homie Doc Dark. Homie Doc Dark was just, we tried to tell him about Stellar Blade. Doc Dark was just on Twitter. I think he was praising Stellar Blade. Let me see. He was praising some game. Oh, no. Hold on. What game was that Doc praised? There was something out here that he praised. I can't remember seeing it. I think it was Doc. I'm telling you, bro, you're just missing out on stuff unnecessarily. Oh no, it was Ghost. It was Ghost of Tsushima, which is another great game. But the greatness continued. Like, I'll give you an example. And me, Corey Massey, Andrew, Jeddah, we'll argue about this to the death. I do not like Horizon Forbidden West. Nope. What's that horse off of Ren and Stimpy? Yep, don't like it. I don't like it. I can't stand that game. Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one. I don't like Horizon Zero Dawn. Yep, don't like it. Couldn't stand that game. Horizon Forbidden West, mwah, perfectimo. My fucking God. I don't know what I would do without my PlayStation this gen. I bought that motherfucker day one. Now, because for those of you that are listening, and I gotta go, because I'm a tech junkie, yeah, I jumped to Stadia because, look, Xbox got me hyped on cloud gaming. Yeah, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And then I played the shit, I was hella disappointed. Then Stadia Retail comes out. I almost didn't get it because of all the shit that I saw, like behind the scenes and how they were muffling the message. And thank goodness, I'm glad I did make it. Made Stadia content for a few years. Stadia was a great way to play games. It was my primary content and my primary way to play games. Because really, the games that I played, the Ubisoft games at the time, Borderlands, Division 2 and shit like that, All those games was there. Those were the games I was going to primarily play anyway. It wasn't until 2022 that games started going elsewhere that I would play. But I had my PlayStation day one, PlayStation 5. So whatever I couldn't play on Stadia, I was going to play on PlayStation 5 because Xbox was a miserable failure. And I said if there was anything that I wanted to play via Game Pass, I would play it on PC Game Pass because I was starting to see PC Game Pass was really going to be the ultimate Game Pass value. Anyway, fast forward. My Stadia people, they were mad at me. Why are you buying a PlayStation 5? You're supposed to be a cloud gaming guy. I'm a fucking gamer. First, don't get it twisted. I am a gamer. I go where the good games are at. Yes. Do I prefer to play my games on Stadia? Yes. But let's be real here. Stadia is a niche product. There's a lot of good games that potentially are not going to come here. I'm getting a PlayStation 5. Kiss me balls if you're mad. You know what I'm saying? You got that motherfucker didn't look back. And I'm so glad. God damn, these games are great. And then so for years, it was like Stadia first or PC first, or now GeForce Now, that Stadia's GeForce Now Ultimate, by the way, is excellent, superb service. But it was there until 2024. I couldn't imagine not having a PlayStation in 2024. Oh my fucking God. And that's why I said I felt him in the pit of my belly. Pause. Let me stop saying that. I felt Colt. My soul. Go with that. When he said he put his head in his hands and said, but they had a lot of great games. And y'all falling for this, but they're not first party. Xbox wasn't built off of first party. Halo didn't make Xbox popular. Halo was popular. It didn't make Xbox popular. What made Xbox popular were those second party and third party exclusives. Gears, when it was a second party game. Mass Effect, when it was a second party game. BioShock, when it was a third party timed exclusive. And so on and so on. That's what made Xbox popular. Call of Duty 2, none of the Modern Warfare games, the old World War II Call of Duty games, when that was exclusive to Xbox. Quake 4, when that was exclusive. Those are the games that made Xbox. It was never their first party studios that made. Y'all fell for the fucking troll from the ponies. They got y'all chasing y'all tail. And now y'all believed all this rhetoric. Oh, I don't need a PlayStation. It's just this, it's just that. And their first party sucks. When y'all missing out on all this great content. And guess what? PlayStation is always going to have great content. Even if they have fuck ups like Concord or whatever, they're still going to, you saw they tried to get Crimson Desert. They're going to keep trying, and they're going to keep getting games that are going to be exclusive for the platform that they're going to support and make even better. Stellar Blade, they made investments in that and make that even better. The Stellar Blade developers even said so. Help increase the scope of the game, make the game even better. Because that's what PlayStation does. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if years down the line, when Xbox settles into its publisher roles, I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox wasn't making exclusives for PlayStation again. I wouldn't be surprised. There you have it. Read these final comments. I gotta get the fuck out of here. He says, Trinket says, all games ran better on the 360. That wasn't a debate then. I do agree with that. I'm working, so I can't read every chat. Game Pass will never be successful. There's no possible way. The good old Halo 3 and Xbox 360 days are over. Come back home, Rambo. The war is over. Hey, look. Audiko, Shaku, welcome to the platform. I don't remember seeing you. If you've been here before, I'm so sorry. I don't recognize the avatar. I couldn't have said it no better. The good old Halo 3 and 360 days are over. Come back. And yes, and when he says come back, essentially, the success of the 360 was because PlayStation gamers themselves migrated over to the 360. That's what made the 360 a success. They migrated over. And Otaku says, look, and then we realized that the Xbox One was going to be dog shit, so we left and went back. He's like, come back home, John Rambo. Absolutely. Solar Blade will have a Pro Max. I can't wait for it, bro. El Nini, I can't. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine not having a PlayStation 5. Yeah, Geek said, I enjoyed Stadia too. Stadia greatness. There we go. We got the Stadia people. You kind of look crazy supporting Stadia. Majority know it's going to fail. No, here's the thing, Cygnus, about Stadia. You guys didn't know it was going to fail. You guys were following the media who wanted it to fail. Why did the media want it to fail? Because they lied on Stadia. That's what only brought me closer to Stadia. The media lied about Stadia. Why did they lie about Stadia? Because Stadia went against everything that they value. They value the swag and getting gamer codes and shit like that from PlayStation and Xbox, and Stadia wasn't playing that game. So they lied on it. Remember, the one dude lied on the performance. Meanwhile, he was connected to a VPN. All this shit. When people played it, I remember going into Broadband Bully Discord, fucking around with Post Up and other people. And then I forced them. I gave them a call. I said, play this shit. And right then and there, motherfucker was like, oh shit, let me sign up for Stadia because I can play these games here and open up my access on my hard drive, because it was a PC gamer. He's like, I didn't know that shit ran good. And Post Up was on the side. Yeah, they say that Stadia hardware is the shit. I wasn't supposed to tell y'all that publicly. I don't give a shit now. No, you guys fell for the lies. Unfortunately, Google never had a good counter for the lies. And then blow number one was when Xbox bought Bethesda. There was a partnership between Bethesda and Stadia over this thing called Orion, which was supposed to upgrade Stadia. That's why Phil Harrison went on, and when they asked him in the town hall, how come y'all are closing us down, SG&E, he said Bethesda. Everybody assumed that meant, oh, they bought Bethesda for a whole bunch of money, we can't compete. That's part of it. The bigger part is Project Orion. I'm saying the bigger part, in my assessment, is Project Orion. Then the final nail in the coffin is when they bought Call of Duty. Why? Because Call of Duty is important to Google. Google has a partnership with Call of Duty right now. It's rumored to be its biggest client right now, which they're going to lose. Because they handle all the back end, like all the menus and the scores and the shit like that are in Call of Duty, that's being handled in the cloud. It's being handled in the cloud. They partner with Google for that. So they're on Google Cloud. They're going to lose that business because they're going to move that to Azure. And then the ramifications of Call of Duty never coming to Stadia. Oh, Stadia's dead in the water, they thought in their minds. So they shut it down. That's why Stadia got shut down. It had nothing to do with anything that you guys heard in the media and all the other stuff. It was completely different. It's just that Alphabet, the parent company, the only thing that they did that was in the right path is they said, how come we're not getting the games that we need to get? And they found out that the porting process was too cumbersome. So they invested in updating the porting process. And they didn't even let that porting process finish. Why didn't they let it finish? Because when they heard of the ABK deal, they realized they were out. So it wasn't crazy support in Stadia. I will say that the one thing that we were not cognizant of, that we should have been cognizant of, the only people that had, I would say, somewhat of a reasonable finger on the pulse to be skeptic about Stadia was the dead by Google guy. We labeled him as an asshole, whatever, but his message was simple. If this thing doesn't blow it out of the water the first year, which none of the cloud platforms blew it out of the water. If this thing doesn't blow it out of the water the first year, Google's going to close it down. And we were like, that's asinine. It doesn't make any sense. We didn't understand how unstably in a faithful nature Google was. We didn't do our research then. So that's what I was talking about earlier in the show. Y'all new Xbox gamers that try to understand why we criticize Xbox so much? You need to do your research. We didn't do our research about what Google is under Sundar. And I'm going to tell you this. I've heard from various sources. Sundar, this current CEO is not liked because of that wishy-washiness. He's not liked. He's no Satya Nadella. Say what you want about Satya. Satya knows what direction he wants to go, and he moves in that direction. Sundar is no Satya at all. Everything is wishy-washy. Look at what they did. All the stuff that they let go of and went elsewhere did well elsewhere. So it was a multitude of things, but more importantly, you got to give credit where credit is due. Satya labeled Google public enemy number one, because if they were successful in the cloud gaming, that was going to affect Google Cloud, and Google Cloud could threaten Microsoft's second place in the cloud space. Satya wasn't having that. He did whatever. He knew how fragile their leadership was, and he attacked the fragility of it. And he was successful. My tack goes off to him. He did what he needed to do. He did the shrewd work. And it's not his fault that the leadership at Google, at ABC rather, are that fragile. He took advantage of it. Because now when you look at it, after the ramifications of the ABK deal, Stadia would have made out like fat rats had they continued to bring your own game service, which finally would have allowed you to play games that you already owned on PC on Stadia, and expanded on some other things like their emulation stuff. Stadia would be killing it right now in the cloud gaming space. That fragile leadership. So that's what happened there. And as a tech enthusiast and a gamer, I'm always going to go and support where tech, blossoming tech is being supported. What was crazy is, and what helped me learn from that experience, and which made this channel better, I feel, is I finally understood the extent that the game community lies. From the creator level to the publisher level. See, I would use terms like the puke pundits or whatever. I just felt like they had bad takes. I didn't realize how much they lied until I started covering Stadia. And I brought I brought that knowledge back with me and how I cover games now. And I think the channel is better because of it. Because now I know the lengths of which these guys will lie. I know how to do my research in advance to combat their lies. And I think slowly but surely people have appreciated that. Cold Blood has a knack for that too. He comes at it a different approach. And with the two of us combating all the bullshit that's put on the internet, now that we're seeing the collapse of the Xbox dream as it was being sold to you, people are realizing, hey, IGN, this one, that one, and this content creator, that content creator, they were all lying to me. They were just making shit up on the fly. Where have we consistently heard people talk about where Xbox is going to end up? They realized this was one of the places. So, you got to break a few eggs in order to make an omelet, Cygnus. And it wasn't crazy us defending it. If you guys really would have really looked into what Stadia was doing and what it was capable of, well, they would have seen some more support, but then they would have just flopped as soon as Xbox did what they did. So it really, unfortunately, didn't matter. And that's where we didn't do our homework, because we didn't understand the fragility of ABC, which that's a shame for all the people that got sucked into that or whatever. We wished that what would have happened if somebody else would have just bought out the Stadia tech and pursued it further, but it is what it is. It just was in the wrong. I'm sorry. And nothing against Jack Buser or even Phil Harrison. I think those guys understood that Phil Harrison wanted to invest in Fortnite. So if Fortnite would have been on Stadia day one, so many things would be different. To be able to play Fortnite on the go like that, on your phone crazily like that, even during the app. That's what blew up xCloud. That's what made xCloud a premier cloud service as far as users, was Fortnite. If Stadia would have had that day one, they would have met their benchmarks. Phil Harrison wanted to do that. Jack Buser, who was also a PlayStation alum, He knew what he was doing. But I think both of them realized these guys aren't serious over here. Jack Buser went somewhere else in the cloud service part, came up with Google Games for Cloud and said, look, y'all just pursue this because y'all ain't serious on the gaming front. And Phil Harrison went back home with his family. Said, you guys aren't serious. We're out. I didn't come here to play games. I was in retirement. I'm already rich. Phil Harrison, before he signed on for Stadia, had just sold one of his a successful as gaming business. It was successful as hell for him. He's already rich. He was retired, chilling with his family. Somebody brought him Stadia and the promise of it. He was sold on it and said, all right, I want to lead this shit. And realized that Google wasn't serious. So he rolled. No, Cygnus, that is because of the ignorance of the mainstream gaming community. Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I suggest that you do. Go look at Tom Warren. He put out a couple of tweets where he was clowning. He said the same thing that you did. And look at the numerous amounts of gamers that just, again, because Stadia's dead. They got nothing to hide. They got nothing to be ashamed of. Who said, no, Stadia was the shit. We enjoyed Stadia. We liked Stadia. Stadia was this. Stadia was that. Stadia was this. You'll find out so many gamers who didn't believe that y'all were just being misled by the mainstream gaming media. And that's why this channel is so fierce against that, because I've seen it firsthand how much they'll lie. Mary Wilcox, yes, I can see you. Definitely. No, you're not blocked at all, Mary. I can see you. Somebody blocked you? I don't know why somebody would block you here. No, I can see you, Mary. Yeah, I see you. I don't think nobody blocked you. Like I said, you got to crack a few. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. And, you know, everything I learned from State, I don't regret any of that. It's made me, matter of fact, GeForce Now is better because of it. I mean, GeForce Now isn't doing everything that Stadia was pursuing, but GeForce Now Ultimate is a hell of a service. I love it. I love it. It is my go-to, unless, again, it's a PlayStation exclusive. I got to play that motherfucker. It's, you know, GeForce Now Ultimate is my go-to. I'm finishing up Phantom Liberty. So we're up to episode 5. I'm going to release those soon. So make sure you're following too here. Let me do this. If you're not following us here, make sure you do so, because we got a lot more game content. MM2 or at MM2K Gaming Streams. Make sure you follow us there at MM2K Gaming Streams. I got like 3 pieces of YouTube content about to go up where I'm doing a playthrough of Phantom Liberty. All right. Mary Wilcox says, MM2K Gaming News, it's my other account. Make me a mod on this if you would. Well, oh, you got blocked by YouTube. How did you get blocked by YouTube? Oh, no, I guess that's none of my business. Mary was doing some crazy shit. Mary, was you talking bad about YouTube CEO? All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I got shit to do. And I will see you guys later. Until next time, you guys thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.